Hello, friends. Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be designing my lined vertical health planner layout for National Coffee Day next week. So come plan with me. And I've got a bunch of washi tapes here ready to go. I also have some PET tape and washi tape stickers on a roll, including this one, which is die cut, this brush tip marker, the stat stickers I made on my computer, some die cut paper stickers, this washi tape paper pad, this set of die cut stickers, and these colorful boxes from Anna Bean, which I'll pull from. Okay, let's go ahead and lay down some wax paper to work out the week's design. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this spread will be themed for National Coffee Day, which is actually Monday the 29th. And I'm a big lover of all things coffee. Excited to pull out all of my coffee-themed stickers and washi and good stuff and come up with a fun theme for the week. Now, I'm going to be using some of these strips of washi paper, basically. A little bit bigger than a washi roll, and of course they're on sheets instead of on a roll, but they are very similar to the material you would find on washi rolls. So what I'm going to do is kind of take them, sort them out, how I want to orient them, because I'm going to be cutting them down to just the exact size of the column. That way it'll fit a little bit nicer in this planner, and I think it'll just work a little bit better for the idea that I have in my mind for this theme. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them down. I'm going to use my guillotine cutter for this just to make life easier instead of trying to cut it by hand. And I'm just lining them up. So they're about 1.5 inches each, which is the size of the classic column. And I will quickly start to lay these in how I'm envisioning. So as I started to lay them in, I was just kind of staggering them willy-nilly. But then I started to figure out that I needed a little bit more of a approach for functionality, because I also will need to add in my stat stickers in the lined area that this washi paper isn't covering. And I also will need a space for my food log. So what I think I'm going to do is only stagger them a bit, making sure that there are 6 lines together either at the top or the bottom of each column, so that I can fit those stat stickers in right above or right below each one of these strips. It did limit my staggering of this a little bit, kind of kept it a little bit more centralized, but I think that worked out just fine for the final result, which you'll see. And I'm just kind of laying them in where they fit, and decided to go ahead and do one more in the sidebar for balance on the spread. And I think that looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to try to add in some of these stickers here. These are paper stickers, and they're a little bit thicker than just a normal paper sticker. They almost have a chipboard feel to them, but not quite that heavy. I just really liked the kind of coffee stained or, like dipped coloring of these. So I decided to bring some of these in. I'm also going to try to add some functional boxes here to the middle parts of this design for tracking my workouts. I do find that this is the easiest place for me to add in that functional area and still keep it, somewhat decorative. My workouts, I tend to like to track what type of workout I did every day, how long I did it, and how many calories I burned. And normally I do 1 to 2 classes a day. I try to plan for 2 in case that happens. That way, if I do need this space, I can. And so the size of the boxes should be just big enough, I think, to cover 2 entries on each day, hopefully. We shall see. It's going to be a little bit awkward there on Tuesday, I can see the way that I laid it in, but otherwise it should go pretty smoothly. So I'm just laying in the darker brown boxes that I actually had from a set of single sheet stickers from Anna Bean Paper Co. I'll just stick with the dark brown, I think, for this spread. Keep it a little bit more uniform since there's quite a bit of texture within both those chipboard paper stickers and the background washi tape paper. Also going to start laying in some of these coffee themed PET tape stickers. Love that PET tape is a bit more opaque, and so it lays nicely on top of backgrounds and things and doesn't show through too much. It does slightly have a bit of transparency, but it's way better than most clear stickers you get in sticker books and things like that. So do love that about PET stickers and thought that that would be a really good match for this spread, being able to layer upon this washi paper. So just trying to pull in the specifically coffee themed stickers from that set. There's also a few tea themed stickers, which I don't really want to bring in. I definitely want this to be a coffee focused spread because of the holiday. So I'm going to just stick with those and then also bring in a little bit of those fall feels with some of the leaves and things they have on that sheet as well. There's not a huge amount of those stylistic fall leaves, so I'm going to try to spread them around purposefully where they will give me the most bang for my buck. Also adding in a few things and changing my mind on positioning on certain items just for balance, color-wise and texture-wise. Looking pretty good. Try to find a home for maybe this last fall leaf if I can find one. I like that. Maybe have that drop in. And I was thinking we need some quotes for the spread, or at least one quote. And I have this big roll of coffee quotes from Journal Say. Most of the PET tape stickers and things came from Journal Say. This roll in particular has some really odd quotes about coffee. Most of them are just kind of odd, but still could work. But then there are some that, like, there's words that were just completely made up. Guessing either that this was definitely a Chinese company trying to translate certain things into English. It just didn't quite work out, or something similar. I find that to be the case whenever I go to Daiso, the Japanese dollar store. The sayings that they have in English in that store just sometimes make zero sense. Lost in translation, I guess. But I did find one that I thought worked fairly well, and so I added that in. It says, "A wonderful coffee of life." You see what I'm saying? It's not like a perfect quote, but it gets the point across, so we're going to go with that. Went ahead and placed in my stat stickers where I envisioned them going as well. I've got those in, and now I'm going to add a bit of just regular plain old washi tape to add a bit more pizzazz to this spread. I think I'm going to use this darker brown for some texture and color at the top and on the bottom. And then I have this fall leaf washi tape, which I honestly didn't think I was going to use that much, but I've been using it a lot lately. Goes really nicely with, I think, the colors in this theme, and definitely helps bring in some more of those fall feels that I felt like I was pulling in, but not a ton of. So we're going to try that and layer those two up for, again, some added texture on the borders. And I'm really liking that. I think it just pulls out all the right things, the color scheme, the coffee, the fall. I think it all works well together. Found one of those paper stickers I didn't quite remove the backing off of, and thought maybe we could add a little bit more of like coffee vibes with some of the splatter from this other PET tape. And this PET tape is interesting because it is die cut, but some of the smaller stickers are not. So I have to cut them out, even though it is a die cut sheet, which is kind of annoying. They should have just made the die cut for all the things, but whatever. So I'm just bringing in a few splatters and a couple more elements like coffee beans to add a bit more flair to the overall look and feel. And then I realized this one sticker is going to push into that functional space and be really annoying if I don't move it. So I'm going to go ahead and make an adjustment there. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, it's kind of subtle what I added, but I think the little bit of coffee vibes that I added there will be helpful in the long run. So, okay, I think we're ready to start moving things over. Go ahead and start with the washi tape here. I'll go ahead and lay that in. Get that lined up. And it's looking pretty good. Decided to flip where I was using which washi tape because the orientation of the fall leaf washi wasn't quite right. It was flipped upside down. So by switching the positioning, I got the fall leaf washi tape right side up. I'll go ahead and just trim off the excess now that I have it laid in. I did pull this tan kind of brown tone brush tip marker to add a little bit more color, and I think what I want to do is both highlight the day numbers and the stat stickers behind them just to give them a little bit more oomph. Kind of ground them a little bit too so they're not floating in space. And I'll do the same up here at the top. Lay this guy in. And then the last step here will be to roll off this big, huge cluster of stickers that I created. And this should go fairly smoothly. Everything is very clustered and touchy, so none of the stickers really have any huge gaps to worry about. I'm going to try to lay things in nicely right from the get-go. The one in the sidebar just looks a little bit off, and I was trying to adjust it, but then it kept creating a wrinkle. So, see what I can come up with here. Everything else went pretty smoothly, so we'll just finish rolling things off, setting things down. I might just have to let it be a little off. Probably save myself some time and effort there. Do a little quick relayer there of some of the stickers. Finish up with some of the trimming. Go ahead and separate out these pages as well. Lovely. Last but not least, I will need to clean out these holes. I'm going to do a little bit of prep work because majority of those holes are covered by those thicker stickers. And I don't know if I trust my Happy Planner with the amount of thickness on the stickers. So I'll just trim out the little ones that I see and then pull out my Power Punch from We Are Memory Keepers. That thing can go through anything. However, it is a little bit dull, so I do usually have to clean up a little bit afterwards when I'm done punching it, since I've really just worked this thing to death. So it definitely punches, but usually likes to leave a little hanger on, specifically in the tail end of the mushroom. So I usually will have to go back and do a little cleanup there. I saw a couple of washi tape covering areas that weren't covering the full hole, so I just went ahead and used the scissors to help clean those up. Once I'm done with this touch-up, we should be done, friends. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye!